years more, and let's just do that. And then we went on a couple of college tours.
Mm-hmm.
And
I fell in love in high school.
She fell in love in high school. And the guy that she fell in love with went to Morgan State University.
Woo-hoo!
And that changed our minds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That one guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we want to name him? We want to give him his... He knows who he is. We're still friends with him. So he said that he was at the school and he was having a good time. He was a year older than us.
Yes.
And he basically influenced us to go. Mm-hmm. Before he went and then when he came home. Mm-hmm. He said he was really having a good time. And we were like, okay, maybe there's something more to this college thing. Mm-hmm. All of our friends were excited about going to college.
Maybe we should take a second look.
Yes.
At, a
4-year university. Because we're okay with going to the community college. Nothing wrong with community college. I think community college is a great way to get a degree if you are taking on a trade or you just don't feel like school is for you. 2-year university is fine.
And we actually wanted to do the community college because we wanted to be daycare providers.
Yeah.
Because we work with the children at the preschool level already, doing our internship, I guess you could call it, with the preschoolers. We really took an interest in really wanting to be with the small children.
Yeah.
So education was not what we thought about going into as far as being an elementary school teacher or middle school teacher or a high school teacher.
And also, I think because we had such strong elementary school teachers ourselves, they had a positive influence on us in South Carolina.
Yeah.
They really influenced us. They gave us the love of reading and just a general interest in school.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to say, I'm sorry for those people who are just joining us on YouTube. We had a technical glitch, and so we had to start the show late on YouTube. But I'm glad you all are able to make it tonight. And our topic is many of you wanted to know why we went into teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're talking about. So wanted to do that. Friends are all wanting to go to college. We said, okay, let's go to college. But when we go to college, let's just be teachers. Initially, we wanted to do pre-K kindergarten teachers. When we finally decided that we're not going to go to the community college for a 2-year certificate to become a licensed daycare provider. We wanted to actually go ahead and get a 4-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get our application into the school that our friends had applied to. We missed the deadline for that. So what we decided to do was to go ahead and try to do the 4-year at Morgan State University because they accepted us.
That was the only school I applied to.
At the time. We did apply to Coppin, but it was late. That's what I'm saying. It was late.
Yeah.
We had already sent everything to Morgan.
Those are the only 2 schools we applied.
Those are the only 2 schools we applied to. Morgan accepted us first.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Morgan accepted us first. We didn't hear from Coppin until it was too late. Like I said, we had sent everything. We were preparing to go to Morgan. Got to Morgan State University and was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We got there, changed our mind again. Once we got there, we decided we wanted to be doctors.
Yep.
So we started doing our all of our classes for pre-med and decided that math was not her thing.
Math and science, because I hated chemistry. Not saying that I couldn't do it, but mentally, I don't think I was prepared for the rigorous education that Morgan was offering at that time. So that led me to give education a second look. Education was my friend. Even though being a doctor sounded more glamorous to me, I said, let me do what I can do. And at that particular time, I felt like teaching was something that I was going to be confident in. So that's why I decided to do that.
Mm-hmm. So we took a second look at education, decided to do that. We went into the education department, fell in love with the bulletin boards, and started getting all excited about doing all of that fun stuff. And we don't even know what we got ourselves into. Let's take a moment and say hello to, let's see, who's
Natasia's here.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa.
Life You Imagine, because it's not just
I'm sorry. Life You Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that? Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Dakari. Hi, Dakari.
So this person wants to know what grades have we taught. So we'll answer that question in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, what's up? Before we get to that question, we're going to give you a little background for reasons on becoming a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Reasons why people general.
Yeah, in general, why people become a teacher. So we were all excited.
Mm-hmm.
We got into our methods classes and we was like, yes, we're about to, take over the world.
Mm-hmm.
We felt empowered.
We had our superwoman.
Yes.
We can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
so these are the reasons why teachers become teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They want to improve the quality of education.
I agree with that statement.
Okay, so the demand for great teachers is a tangible, pressing need, and that is true. They kept telling us back when we graduated from college that there is a teacher shortage. Mm-hmm. There is a need for teachers. And at the time, they had us do a city experience and they had us do a county or suburban experience. Mm-hmm. Just so we could get a feel for what we liked. Mm-hmm. Because in any event, we were going to get a job.
Yes.
It was guaranteed we were going to get a job straight out of college.
Yep.
So we were excited about the prospect.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a high demand for teachers. And I'm reading from teach.com, mm-hmm. Reasons for becoming a teacher. This is a blog. While our country has come a long way in education reform, we still have a long way to go. There are schools across America that are in high need because of budgetary concerns and low teacher retention, and students still continue to drop out at alarming rates. One reason to become a teacher is the impact the education system. If you recognize the need to improve the quality of education in this country, then you may become a teacher to affect change. And I know that was definitely our motivation,
our driving force.
One of the things that motivated us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of work to be done, but it is the collective effort of thousands of dedicated teachers that will make the most difference. Okay.
And so because Morgan State University is in the heart of Baltimore City.
And it is a teacher's college.
It's a teacher's college, mm-hmm. along with Coppin.
Mm-hmm. That's why we chose those two schools.
We decided that we were going to stay in Baltimore City, mm-hmm. and give back to our community in that way, because we came from a county of privilege here in Prince George's County.
Can we stop for a second? Mm-hmm. Who is C-Zone Gold? Who is this person? Because they said two of the best teachers in Gwynn Park Middle.
Wow. Thank you so much. But so I guess they feel blessed to have us as teachers, mm-hmm. Making that decision,
yes,
to go into teaching. But because we, like I said, we're in Baltimore City, we mm-hmm. decided to stay in Baltimore City and put an effort into those children, mm-hmm. because they were impoverished, yes, compared to Prince George's County, where we grew up, mm-hmm. which is one of the wealthiest counties in the nation, mm-hmm. in the United States. So
Delvon. Hey, Delvon.
Hey, Delvon. So we were like, okay, let's give back to this community. Mm-hmm. Because we're Black. There's not a lot of Black teachers in teaching. Mm-hmm. Let's stay here in the trenches and help these young African-American children,
yes, become better. Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we can influence them the way we were influenced as young children, mm-hmm. to go into teaching and to continue education. Mm-hmm. So that was our motivation for staying in Baltimore City. Mm-hmm. What are you smiling about?
Because they want to know if we heard of a church called Shiloh.
I think I have heard of that church. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So back to becoming a teacher. Mm-hmm. What's some other reasons for why?
So another reason for becoming a teacher is, let's hold off. Because it's time for a commercial.
Oh, did you just do that?
Yes. Let's do a cliffhanger. Let's pause. Give them a minute or two, maybe less, to get our commercial in, and then we'll come back and give another reason why to become a teacher. Okay. Sounds good?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So hold on for a few minutes or a few seconds, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back.
Welcome.
And I think we left off with a cliffhanger.
Yes, you did. You left us hanging.
I love it. So here it is. This is another reason why we became teachers, to give back to your community. And that was our number one top thing, reason why. Number one top thing. The number one reason for us becoming teachers. And if you ask most African-American teachers why they became teachers, or people who are career changers, why they became teachers, it's because they want to give back to the community. That in itself, it feels like a community service, even though you get paid for it.
Yeah.
Because you get to see children every single day, and you get to make a difference in their life every single day. You might be the one bright spot. I have tears coming up in my eyes. I'm sorry.
Don't tear up. We still got 40 minutes to go. Hold the tears.
You might be that one bright spot that children have.
Yes.
Every single day. And they might wake up just to come to school to see you every day. And I did not understand that when we were going through our methods classes and when we had our supervising teachers. Those things never stood out. But when it actually started happening for us, when I started teaching first grade and I fell in love with first graders, I was like, you know what? First graders rock. They rule. And so I think it was the same for you. She would come home and telling me about these kindergartners. I was like, well, look, I got you beat, because first grade, you can't get any better.
I love my kindergartners. And then I had first grade.
And then you said, you know what? She was right. First grade is good. Kindergarten is good. It's just in a different way. So one of the reasons for becoming a teacher is to contribute to your community in a meaningful way. Teaching is one of the most direct ways to make an impact. And if you are driven by the desire to help those around you, being a teacher is an invaluable contribution. So this blog is like speaking to me right now.
Is it speaking for you?
It's speaking volumes for me. So let's get back to whose question was it that asked, what grades do we teach? Let's see.
Right.
What grades have you taught? And this is from It's Me. So we have taught collectively all grades from kindergarten to eighth grade. So kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We've taught all of those grades.
Yep.
We've done a lot.
Yes,
we have. I mean, we look so young.
We do. I don't look any stressed. Yes. All my hair is dark still.
So Nicole, to answer your question.
Every grade.
And it says, wait, who made you go to college?
So that they missed that story. So Miss McCants had a boyfriend in high school. This Miss McCants had a boyfriend in high school, and her boyfriend went to college. He came back and he told us about college. He talked about college before he left. Our friends were going to college. We decided we were going to go to college, but it was only going to be community college. We were okay with community college.
Mm-hmm.
They convinced us or influenced us to look into a 4-year university or college. And so we influenced ourselves. I mean, we decided ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our mom didn't push us either way to go to school or to stay home. She was okay with us doing whatever we wanted to do at the time. And so we decided to go to school.
Mm-hmm. We said we had 2 good brains. Why waste them?
Yeah.
Sitting around doing nothing. Hey to Corey, I just want to make sure I said hey to everybody who's
coming in and out.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that was the reason why we went to that school. So then it says, perhaps you grew up in a high needs area and were personally connected to the struggle of students who come from low income families and go to schools with little funding. Mm-hmm. This sort of perspective allows you to recognize how much of a difference a devoted teacher can make. Maybe an amazing teacher changed your life. Now, this is where it falls in under us. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe we were in a low income community in South Carolina, but I don't think that, excuse me, that
you get my
thing? And we sitting too close. I don't think it was that stood out to me. This is more so the reason why we became teachers. Mm-hmm. An amazing teacher changed your life when you were younger, and you want to share that with a new generation of students. Mm-hmm. Many people cite a favorite teacher as a source of inspiration in their decision to pursue a career in education. And I say right there, hands down, that is another reason why we became teachers. Mm-hmm. Because my 3rd grade teacher, I will never forget her.
And you start the story the same way every single time.
And that is because...
And she never lets me start my story first because she always wants to start her story first.
Go ahead.
My amazing 3rd grade teacher, Miss Seats. I really love her.
Why are you telling my story, though? Don't try to steal my thunder. You just tell your story. All right?
Well, I had an amazing 3rd grade teacher, too. Her name was Miss Morgan, Mrs. Morgan. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that we went to Morgan State University.
Mm-hmm.
She was mean. She wasn't loving like you think most teachers are going to be loving. This lady was not loving, but she was firm. And I could tell she wanted us to learn. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't going to just give us the information. She wanted us to work for it, mm-hmm. which made us actually attaining her
knowledge, whatever it was she was trying to give.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Us attaining whatever she was trying to give, that much better once we got it. Mm-hmm. So I remember I struggled with learning my multiplication facts. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the room seemed like they were getting their multiplication facts, but I wasn't. Mm-hmm. But I worked on it. I strived for that. And I finally reached the goal that she had set for everybody mm-hmm. in the room. Mm-hmm. And that just made me more proud of myself. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't get the candy when everybody else got the candy, but...
Because that time had passed.
Exactly. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. It wasn't even the external motivation. It was more so intrinsic. It mm-hmm. was something that was inside of you that made you want it even more to strive for that, that goal.
Exactly. Just to say I did it.
Yes. Love it.
And that's why she's one of my favorite
teachers. I've never heard that story before.
Even though she was mean. She's mean.
So I would never let her tell that story. So I'm so glad you were able to share.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. So can I tell my story?
Oh, God.
All right. My story is...
I didn't even say yes.
Something similar to... I knew you were going to say yes. Something similar to what you were saying, mm-hmm. but mine was more so with reading. Our teacher made sure we had reading time every single day. Same grade, 3rd grade. And this lady would come up with different stories that were intriguing, that would make my imagination go wild. Mm-hmm. And I love that. It was the way she inflected her voice. Yeah. It was her connotation, her cadence when she spoke about certain things that happened in the book, the way she made it suspenseful, the way she, she just pulled us into mm-hmm. every single book that she read. And I love that about her. I look forward to reading time every single day. Mm-hmm. She would do a picture walk. She would, just get us all involved in what was happening in the story. That is my moment. That was the reason.
I know.
That was my moment. And that was the reason why I wanted to become a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they inspired us so much that after we graduated from college, we actually went back to South Carolina to find our third grade teachers.
Mm-hmm. We did. We sure did.
And what did we find when we got there?
They were still there.
Mm-hmm.
We had graduated from college.
Yes, that's what I just said.
And yeah, we were getting our master's degree, I think. Were we?
No, it was right after we graduated from college.
It was right after we graduated from college. And excuse me, we were so excited to see these ladies. We wanted to go back and walk through the building.
And we did. We did all of that. We went right back to the same elementary school.
And it's funny that you were talking about the reading time because I felt that way too.
Yeah.
Even though I spoke to you about the math, reading time was fun for us that way too. I don't know if it was the way they set up the curriculum or whatever, but she got us involved in the story, and she wasn't the only teacher that got us involved in the stories when she was reading. So my 5th grade teacher, why can't I remember that lady's name? I love
Rogers.
Her. Yes. Thank you for remembering. Miss Rogers, that red hair.
That fiery red hair.
She would let me sit on her lap because I was the smallest one in the room. She would let me sit on her lap.
Grader.
Yes. And we were in a rocking chair, and she would rock me back and forth and let me sit in her lap while she was going to read aloud to everybody in the room. It was just fun. Learning was fun. And I wanted to instill that in my students when I became a teacher. The feeling of I'm a part of the story.
Yes. Your heart rate was racing. I can't even get my words out tonight.
You couldn't wait for the next page and for the teacher to start reading. It was just fun.
Yep.
And they had Read Across America. What was it? Book It. Well, we got the pizza vouchers for reading a certain amount of books.
Pizza Hut.
It was great.
You want to stop right here and go to commercial?
Yeah, child, because I'm over here reminiscing about that little personal pain.
And that one topic, personal pain.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break. And after the break, we're going to talk about the turnovers that teachers or school districts face. We talked about the motivation, but we haven't talked about how much of a need is caused when teachers decide that they want to leave the teacher profession. Because
they are telling us that there is a need, and then they're saying it's a high turnover rate. So we need to know why, and what does turnover rate mean? So we're going to answer those questions
when we come back, right after the break.
Okay.
Like you imagine broadcasting presents Chronicles radio show featuring Daisha and Taisha King. If you are a student, multiple, or are determined to explain your medical that you would like to see that on the show, please email
Okay, so we are back from our commercial, and I wanted to make sure we said this to Delvon. Happy birthday next week.
Happy birthday next week.
Because next week we have guests on the show, so we won't be able to actually shout you out the way we're talking to you all and interrupting each other's conversation. So we want to make sure I said happy birthday, early birthday to you, Delvon. I hope you have a wonderful 13th birthday, and thank you for watching us tonight. Hey, Mackenzie. Nice to see you on here. And you are so welcome, Delvon. All right, so let's talk about the reasons why we have teacher turnover. Okay, so teacher turnover is, and this is just my definition. I don't have the
Webster's Dictionary.
I don't have a Webster's Dictionary for teacher turnover, but it is basically when teachers come into the teaching profession and then they decide to leave, quit for other reasons that we don't know. You want to give a definition? Did you find a definition?
I didn't find a definition. I tried.
Okay. So yes, that would be.
I'll keep looking while you're talking.
That would be teacher turnover. I mean, if you can find something better than what I just said. So
there it is.
Okay, what is it?
Boom, found it.
Boom, drop like. Period. No caps. No caps.
Oh, girl, stop!
I had to do it.
No, you didn't. The rate at which employees leave a company and are replaced. The rate at which employees leave a company and are replaced. The high turnover rate among daycare workers is an ongoing problem.
this article, and I'm getting this from theconversation.com. This article is saying that teacher turnover, I can't even say it, turnover is a teacher is leaving for a job at another school or a different kind of job altogether. So I think those definitions, work well together.
Yeah.
Now they're saying that teacher turnover, I'm going to call it TT because my mouth is tongue tied.
Teacher turnover.
Yeah.
The TO.
Yes, said 3 times.
Teacher turnover, teacher turnover, teacher turnover.
That's what you can do. So TT is a problem that can potentially...
TTO.
Okay, TTO, teacher turnover, is a problem that can potentially set a child's learning experience back significantly. TTO is one of the more disruptive things that this person who wrote this article has done research on for education policy and in school improvement. All right. So it has a bigger impact on those low income communities. And that's the whole reason why some of us teachers are actually doing it. So we spoke to that a few minutes ago. So this is one of the biggest impacts to happen to those low income communities. He did a study in North Carolina, and it showed that by the end of the teacher's third year, 62% of teachers have left the school in which they began their career.
Wow.
Some of these teachers changed schools, others left teaching altogether. Although their study does not identify whether or not the teachers were reassigned, fired, or their contracts were not renewed. Other research suggests that approximately 10% of teacher turnover is involuntary. And then they have notably an average of 6% of early career teachers leave their jobs during the school year. And we know some teachers that we have worked with that have actually left maybe November, December before the holidays begin and don't come back. So in addition, new teachers are more likely to be reassigned, quit, or be fired from a high minority school. And part of that is because they don't know how to discipline.
Yes.
And they don't get the support to discipline.
And they don't get the respect from the students. We have to say that because sometimes students are disrespectful. Their parents don't even know that they're disrespectful. They just come to school. Oh, I know I can talk to this person any type of way. And so they do, which causes the teacher to feel some type of way and not want to continue to be their teacher, even though they have a lot of knowledge that they're trying to give the students. So it's just unfortunate event all the way around.
Yes.
So when this happens, there are a couple of things that happen. Disruptions to learning. It impacts the school environment. The administration has staffing issues and because it leaves vacancies. And I think that's it, right?
So those are the three main things.
Three main things.
1, 2, and 3.
The disruption of learning. So when the teacher leaves, the kids don't learn. We have a sub in the room.
Yes.
And they have to keep the sub in the room as long as they don't have a certified teacher that they can hire.
And so I think with this government shutdown, it's kind of a catch-22, or it's good and bad at the same time because it gives the those people who are a part of the furloughs an opportunity to go in and I said furloughs.
Oh, okay. I thought your mouth was still.
No, I said furloughs with an S. Gives them an opportunity to come in and do substitute teaching. So they get to see the other side of, what the teachers' daily lives are like. And I think that's a good experience for them. The school districts in our area have opened up job fairs for these people to come in. And because it is not something that's contractual, they're not stuck in being a teacher.
But they will have some steady income.
Yes. And I thought that was a great idea to have these furloughed
workers.
Yes. Come in and actually It's a good experience all the way around.
You were so pressed to talk when I talked. Okay, so it impacts the school environment. What does it say about that?
High levels of teacher turnover, TTO, can also make it difficult for schools to create a school climate conducive to student learning because institutional knowledge about students, curriculum, and school programs is lost when teachers leave a school. And that goes back to the disruption in learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to speak to. Even though we need substitutes, they don't have the background knowledge to actually go in and do these lessons and teach the curriculum that we have.
Even though we can give them a crash course, we can give them quick, fast, and dirty way to teach and manipulate the curriculum. And even with them getting to know the students, they can do that quickly. But it's still not a consistent type of situation for the students or the teachers. So, with that being said, the school climate goes down. And when we say school climate, we mean the morale of the students, the morale of the teachers, because the teachers feel like there are gaps and holes that they have to fill in for those missing people on the staff. Okay, which leads us to the next one, staffing issues. TTO limits school and district administrators' capacity to staff all schools with qualified teachers because recruiting qualified replacement teachers can be both time consuming and costly for a school system. When large shares of beginning teachers leave teaching, their replacements are often themselves new to the job. So let's pause for a second. We're talking about teachers that have only been teaching for 3 years, leaving, and then we're getting substitute teachers who have no teaching experience at all,
or they have career changers or people who graduated in December and
are now being placed into school
for January.
So they've only been teaching for a couple of weeks,
right?
in name only,
and in student teaching only. They've had a supervisor or cooperating teacher who they had to depend on. Now they are actually going into a classroom on their own.
Okay,
unless they work for PG County, and PG County has an awesome new teacher program.
Yes, they do.
And they provide tons of support.
Look, we're not advertising.
I'm not advertising. I'm just letting you know that PG County does give support.
PG County do?
It gives supports.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure other school districts are following suit. Not following suit. They have their own programs to help those new teachers because they know that those teachers need support. And if they don't provide that, that's when those teachers want to leave the profession. So they're going to put those things in place to help or make sure that they keep these teachers that they have.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Way to go, PG County.
And other counties.
All right, were we done with that one? I don't think we were done. Okay.
Yep, done.
Done data.
All right. So it says how to reduce teacher turnover. TTO. So from the first day on the job, new teachers must adjust to the demands of the classroom. Lesson planning is a big issue. If you don't sit down and plan, you will fail. And, people take that lightly because they just see people teaching on TV and they think it's so easy. But, your classroom can get out of control if you don't have your day laid out and planned out.
If you're not prepared for your students.
Yes. Even the best laid plans fall through.
This is true.
So, you got to have a backup to the backup. You got to have something. You got to have something in the works for them. Okay. So what else we got? Let's see. It says, historically, beginning teachers have been expected to sink or swim. Ooh, that is not cool.
The recording has started.
Sink or swim?
Yes.
Have you been there?
Definitely have.
Without much external support. In recent years, this pattern seems to be changing. this goes back to what we were saying about the support system that the counties provide after the teacher is hired. And that's part of the onboarding process. Okay. So it says their results suggest that supporting teachers in their first few years in teaching, either through mentoring, and I really suggest that mentoring or support from their principal might reduce the rate at which they leave teaching, including during the school year. Okay.
Okay. So back to me and you.
Yeah.
Because I think the kids want to know. We just gave them a whole bunch of data, a whole bunch of backstory on why we're teaching and why it's important that we're still teaching. Okay. So how did we get to Gwen Park Middle School?
All right. So we started out in Baltimore, like we said, doing first grade and kindergarten. Spent a few years there. And once we worked there for, I guess, about 3 years, we transferred here down to PG County. Not transfer, but actually we did what we just talked about. We had teacher turnover and left Baltimore City mid-year in December and started in January in Prince George's County. Now, when we came to Prince George's County, we stayed at that first school for 3 years. And then we moved on to Barnaby Manor. We stayed at Barnaby Manor for about 2 years. And then after Barnaby Manor, we went to Gwen Park and been there ever since.
Well, with the exception of 1 year. We went to Millwood.
1 year. We left Gwen Park 1 year, went to Millwood, back to elementary school where we were in love with the children in elementary school, and then ended up coming back to Gwen Park Middle School and been there ever since for 3 or 4 years now. So that's our little story about how we transitioned from Baltimore City to Gwen Park Middle in Prince George's County.
Here's the next question.
Why
are we always together at our jobs?
We are always together for our jobs because people like us being together.
People enjoy seeing me together. We accidentally got the job at Gwen Park. It wasn't intentional. I actually went to Barnaby Manor first. Got hired there. We worked there. We weren't together that year. The first year I worked there. You were still at Morningside. I was at Barnaby Manor. You met my principal. Your school was closing, and she was like, "Hey, come over to my school." I think our resume speaks for itself because we're good teachers, and I think some of our kids can attest or
speak for
us, vouch for us, witness for us that we are good teachers, and that comes through when people are talking to us as far as giving us the job. And then once we got that job, we were pretty satisfied there. We went over to your son's school for a conference.
Yes, we randomly went over there for a conference. And they asked our certification. They
found out we were teachers and then asked about our certification.
And offered us a job right on the spot. Would we be interested in working there? We're like,
middle school. I like elementary.
And then they needed 8th grade.
On top of it all. So
we were like, okay, well, let's take the plunge.
Let's jump in.
And that's what we did.
And been there almost ever since.
But they treat us good.
Yeah, they do.
And the children are, amazing. We have good days and bad days, just like any other teacher, just like any other person when they go on their job.
And you know what? I was thinking about the show tonight when we were at work this morning. The kids were coming in. And I said to myself, I did not want to get up this morning to go to work. I love you guys. I love you. But I didn't want to see you this morning. And you know what thought came to me while I was watching the children walk by?
What thought came to you?
This is a blessing. This job is a blessing.
Yes, it is.
And like you said earlier, we affect people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, just by me standing right here at my door,
Mm-hmm.
saying good morning to these bright and smiling faces,
Mm-hmm.
walking by me, saying good morning to me. I mean, some of them are going out of their way to come to my side of the hallway
Mm-hmm.
to say good morning to me.
Yes.
And I said, this is part of the reason why I'm here. This is part of my ministry.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of my blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I am being blessed by these people,
Mm-hmm.
and they are blessed. Hopefully I'm being a blessing to them.
Yes.
And this is part of the reason why I'm here to say good morning to these children, because some of them do not speak to anybody else the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
nobody takes the time out to speak to them. Not saying that we have mean teachers or anything
no,
like that.
Not at
but,
all. They just don't feel comfortable sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And, we get caught up in our hustle and bustle of the day. We have 1,001 things on our plates.
And just in our lives in general.
In general, we have so many things, just like the children have so many things. So I go back to, we could be that one bright spot.
Yes.
Just like they're being a bright spot for us. Because they can change our whole mood as the teacher. When they come in and say good morning. They give us a little smile. They give you that little bit of apple.
Yeah. And they're like, can I get a hug? Now, everybody don't get a hug. Some of y'all on here know that. However, some people do actually come to me and ask me for a hug. People that don't normally ask for a hug, and I give it to them because I know that they really need that hug for the day. Mm-hmm. That's the only affection they might get for the day. So I try to be accommodating to most people. Other people just get fist bump. No offense, fist bump. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
We are put in positions for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people say, I'm quitting. I'm tired of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get out of this. But we're there for a reason. And we may not understand in the moment why we're there. Because we might not see the benefit of it until 10 years from now when they come back. Yeah. Like I'm not even going to get started on that.
I've had so many students come back and say, Miss McCants, they've emailed me. When we first came into the county, I have students when we first came into the county. They're grown people. They have real jobs and they're out here.
What about the guy at the Dash-In? When we were moving a couple of months ago. Remember? We went to
many.
We were moving. It was on the day we were moving, and we went to the Dash-In, and a boy walked up to me. And he was like, "Aren't you Miss McCants?" I was like, "What?" I'm in my t-shirt, some shorts.
Yes. Oh, I do remember.
He said, "Aren't you Miss McCants?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Don't you remember me?" I'm like,
I mean, children don't.
Oh my goodness!
Came through all of these doors. Refresh our memories.
He was like, what did he say his name was? Nate.
Yes.
Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh, look at you.
Yeah, one of her third graders.
He was a man. I was like, oh my God.
I'm old.
Right. He's like, I'm at Bowie State University. I'm like, what? He said, I will never forget you, Miss McCants. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is crazy. But it was great. It was great seeing that. And that's part of the reason why I teach. Because I want you guys to grow up and be productive citizens. I want you to go out and
be amazing.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Because we can see that spark of amazement within you. We want you to see it within yourselves and go out and do something with it, something positive. And I love it. Every time we see our students.
And we could go on and on about all of the amazing, wonderful students that have affected us. And hopefully we've had a positive effect on. But we have to end the show.
Already?
Yes.
We just started talking about the good stuff.
Well, the good stuff might have to wait for part 2.
Part 2?
Yeah.
2. Just say 2.
Okay. So this is the end of our show tonight, but we are always available at twinchronicles22@gmail.com or on Facebook at Twin Chronicles Radio Show. Email.
What about Instagram?
Instagram.
We're not on Twitter yet.
We are on Twitter.
Oh, we are on Twitter.
We're on the Twitter.
Excuse.
And of course, YouTube. You can email or message us your show ideas, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, contact us.
Again, our email is twinchronicles22@gmail.com or Twin Chronicles Radio Show on Facebook.
Have a great night and a blessed week, and we will talk to you all soon.
No, it's
talk to you all soon.
Oh my gosh. Bye, guys. Talk to you in the morning.
All right, we see you tomorrow.